Pheasant Productions presents the math of ESP, why it works even if you don't believe in it. Obviously, for some time now, I've been showing that, standing up for yourself, being the resistance makes a difference. Learning to think for yourself so you can comprehend what I'm showing here, that is quite easy to go out and find. Like I said, the amount of people running around screaming that, don't look at any news beyond your town, and hearing your government scream the same thing, and your churches scream the same thing, and I don't care what religion it is. Everybody, worry about being nice in your own little area. And you have such a cataclysmic earth changes going on. You have prophecies literally of every religion on the planet coming true and showing up. I have just shown how the prophetics that apply to me, that while the Revelations 2:17 is spiritual, there's no way getting around that, okay? It is a spiritual mark. Only I can know the name, and the only way that is possible is if even gods themselves have not looked at what that name is, and it is something that is attuned to my soul, my being. So you can't just go and clone a little piece of my finger or cut my finger off like a finger scanner, or pluck my eyeball out and do an eyeball scanner or something like that. All of those James Bond and I Spy and CIA boogeyman type spooks in the closet type of in your rafters type of a thing. The idea is, you got to get out there and actually try and get involved in your world. And if you go and you look at people like Gandhi and Martin Luther King and Jesus and Buddha and even Lao Tse of Taoism, they got out and they did stuff, folks. They didn't sit around and wait for Superman or wait for somebody else. And that's where you end up kind of having an issue. You're always waiting for somebody else to come forward, and then to make it worse, you're waiting for that person, when they come forward, to either A, have millions of followers already, so that they're socially acceptable to go be a part of that, whatever it is, or you're waiting for your governments, religions, schools, corporation, team spirit, whatever, to say that it's okay to go do that. You lose out on everything in your life because you got nothing. I got a almost 28-year-old son. We have only seen each other for just a very few brief minutes over less than 24-hour time period once in 15 years because the government doesn't like me. I don't make any concerted effort to go and see him because they will just attack him again, or they will use him as bait to attack me, type of a thing. But here I am standing up on my own 2 feet, doing my own thing, publishing as much as I can, putting stuff out, teaching, speaking what I walk, speaking that you have to be the change. And obviously, my hands, and I'm going to put up some photos about this point in time showing that my hands are okay, and how they're healing and all. The damage sustained to my body for fighting is pretty rugged. But before you start making a bunch of you insane idiot type stuff, stop and think about how many of you jump up and down and scream for the war heroes going by in their wheelchairs and on crutches, missing legs and arms and eyeballs, and whatever got blown off or mangled by a war. And you do it to the point where, the last World War II veteran of the United States, we have to make a really big, huge parade because he's still alive. So you do actually, in fact, honor war injuries of somebody fighting for what is right and truthful. You might have a warped sense of what right and truthful is because you've never been taught actually to think about the actions. I mean, this town, these people, 400 years they have been playing a game for the Vatican. The Vatican is the ones that granted them the property. So the Vatican Mafia is the original thief, the original conqueror, the original assaulting force. And they simply sent out their mercenaries. Nothing more than that. Very simple, very plain English. The conquistadors, the Spanish, the French, the English, every last one of them, they carried the Bible, didn't they? Every last one of them, they claimed that their God was the only God, and everybody else had to submit or die, and most of them died. Like I said, anywhere from 15 to 50 million Aztec were killed here, depending on whose reports. The government here just released this year a report, and I saw one that said 15, quite literally, on it, and stating that was a bottom number of how many Aztecs were alive here when Cortez came here and killed everybody. Gold and silver, it's very powerful, but it is the imagination of the human being that does it. And if you can't sit back and look at how many people from all walks of life, Malcolm X, Gandhi, Hindu people, the Bhagavad Gita, just every direction you look, everybody from every spiritual side possible, from the yogics to the natives, the indigenous people, and whether they're North American, South American, Central American, Australian, New Zealand, you have all of these different things. And a friend of mine was pointing out that, in New Zealand there had been a group of people that went off to be by themselves, a tribe by themselves, and they were peaceful. And the Bible people literally brought the Moriari, which are a war tribe. And if you don't think they're war, take a look at how many different NFL teams have had the Moriari get up there and do their war warm-up type of stuff. And you'll see that, yes, they pride themselves on being very fierce warriors, okay? They literally just, wiped out most all of that other group of people. So you have to realize that, you cannot find peace by demanding war. As Gandhi said, an eye for an eye just makes the whole world blind. And, there's many a time where, I'd like to go out and many a time when I'd like to just go knock the snot out of people. Even the situation I'm in here, after 3 years of listening to these people throw insult after insult. And, you got to admire Mexicans. They cannot apologize for ever being wrong or insultive to anyone else. And most United States citizens can't also. They are every bit as arrogant as Trump, no matter what they are. It's amazing, like I said, to see how many environmentalist groups, they have to go out and be their own group. They cannot understand that it is a one planet, therefore it should be one big concerted effort, which is what the rainbow warriors of all these different prophetics is, that somehow people are going to wake up at the last minute. Reading through Revelations and trying to, get some idea of what kind of events are going to be going on just from that particular angle. I have lost a lot of my other books and stuff, so I have to drift through the internet to find other stuff. And, I had to realize that, whether you're a believer in palladium, you're a believer in aliens coming to rescue us or harvest us for food, and all kinds of different things, or you think Star Trek's going to suddenly pop in, or somebody like me, I'm going to get my wish and my starship's going to show up. All of the various angles of that, and any one of them could end up being the rapture as well. Because people are lifted up and out of here, and they are checked by the purity of their heart. Do they fight for all life? Do they care for all life on the planet? Or are they a group of people that are only interested in their group succeeding? Are they anti-war in Syria, anti-war in England, anti-war in Palestine, anti-war in Guyana? You go down the list. Or are they just plain anti-war? All war needs to stop. So there's an awful lot of variations of stuff. Trying to get people to wake up isn't easy. I understand that. And being a person that never went chasing for followers, there's kind of a limit to what I will go and chase down and try and do. But nonetheless, I'm a spiritual person and I am spiritually teaching. So I'm putting these videos out and trying to continue to be somewhat life-like and viable and alive down here at home. So we're locked into our little prison. We're running down to the dry beans and such now in the food department. But, hey, I'm still fighting, I'm still kicking, I'm still trying. And I think if you look, even Gandhi was fighting all the way to the end. All these other, Malcolm X, all these different people, they were trying. They got out there and tried. The biggest mistake you can make in life, because it'll be the deepest regret you have, is that you never got out there and tried. You never tried to do anything different. You just followed the same old thing that, as Einstein said, insanity is doing the same thing repeatedly time after time after time again and expecting different results. How can you change anything if you yourself refuse to change? So to life, to the 26th day, I'm still here. My hands are doing, healing up pretty good. You can see I can kind of flex it. And obviously, you begin to understand what I mean. It's just kind of annoying because the finger only works so far and so much. And obviously, it's going to need a little bit of physical therapy once it totally heals up. But you can see that it's nice. Like I said, I'll put some color, I'll put some pictures I just took at the same time up and into it too. So we'll have some fun, see where it goes.